Alrighty everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you all are watching this. Welcome back to a live stream or VOD here on Let's Build Twitter. So we are getting closer and closer to like having everything that we want to get done, which is like really a good thing. And we're actually kind of running out of things to work on, which is, like I said, it's a good thing. So what we need to do today is we need to work on getting polls loaded onto the feed page. And we need to basically figure out what work needs to be done, what work is already done, and then start like implementing it. We're probably going to go on Twitter. We're going to probably need to create a poll and like kind of see the styling and all that stuff for it. We need to just like put together like a probably like a dummy component that we can't really click and vote and stuff to start, and then kind of go from there. But I was just taking a look at what our poll looks like. So our poll is pretty simple. It's just an ID, an end time, and then a list of choices. And then our choices have an ID, the poll that is connected to the choice text, and then a set of application users who voted for it. So that's pretty simple. And then inside of our service, I was looking at our controller on endpoints on Postman, but now inside of our service, in our poll service, so we can generate one, generate choice, generate a poll. We can vote for a poll. Let's see. So I'm guessing this already worked because we already have this. So we grab the user, get the entire poll from the choice, which we could have done slightly different, but I think this is fine because the poll choices are going to be basically unique. That's fine. And then we see if it already exists, whatever. And let's see, we check all the votes, so that's good. Although we probably want to check the votes. Let's see, get choices for each. Okay, we do check each choice, so I was smart enough to do that. Okay, so I think that's fine. So I think like we're good to go poll wise. I think that we saw the other day that we can generate a poll. Now we need to just be able to actually like basically display it more or less. So if we come into our front end and open this guy up, I don't think we need to touch the back end. So I think we can go ahead and just be like, let's generate a poll on a post that will be at the top of the feed page. Okay, and we can go ahead and create a poll. The choice 1, we'll just put choice 1 here, choice 1, go ahead and put choice 2, and then we can also add one. Now there's like images you can add stuff. I'm not adding images and all of that stuff. Choice 3, go ahead and make the poll like 7 days, that's fine, and post. So now you can see that we have this. If we inspect and go into our, actually open up Redux DevTools and open in a window. If we come into just like our most recent state and go into our feed, go into post, top post is going to be ours. And then here we can see that there should be a poll attached to it. So we can check, we can add our votes and all that good stuff, and we can kind of go from there. And then we can kind of update the backend with what we vote on. So that's simple enough. So I'm gonna get on the real Twitter, and I don't know why my Twitch preview is not working. It's like scuffed. So hopefully y'all can see my stream on Twitch. Says I'm live for 9 minutes. Says the bitrate's okay. YouTube is fine. So anyway, so I'm gonna say I'm looking to change my streaming schedule to go along with a new workout plan. What's the best time for you to catch a live stream? Okay. But then we'll make a poll. So choice 1 will go ahead and be like morning streams, and then be like 5 a.m. CST. It's like unchanged. Evening streams. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you for the follow, Sour Night. How's it going? 10 p.m. CST. Of course. Say night streams, 10 p.m. CST. React what? I have no idea what that is. I'm gonna be honest with you. And then we'll go ahead and say mixed. And then we'll say some AM, some PM. Yeah, I have no idea what the OSU collab hosted by Taro is. Okay, I don't know why you can't do 7. Oh, it's because it can't. It's up to 7 days. I can maybe update that, but I don't really care. Okay, so now if I post this, hopefully I can actually see the votes and stuff. Damn. Okay, so if you post it, this is all you can see from your account. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and make a test. I need to figure out how to log into my test account. Or I need to log into my personal Twitch. Let's see if I can do that and then take a look at this. Let's add an existing account. You're gonna vote? I appreciate you. Let's see. I'm not gonna leak my information here. I'm gonna see if I can't log into my other account. I just don't know what the email is. Let me check something on my phone real quick, because I am logged into this account. So let me see what my account information is. Okay. And I can probably guess my password. I didn't know what my email was. Let's see. Phone or username. I can actually... I don't know why I need that to log in. That is my phone number for this, but okay, brother. I'm just guessing what my password is here. Okay, I guessed right. Cool. Sick, I appreciate you for voting. That's cool. Okay, so now let me go ahead and look up unknown coder. So I can look at the poll. 1 vote, I appreciate you. Alright, so basically it's just a list of these things. That helps me out so I know how to design this, so I appreciate you voting. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop into here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll design it from the eyes of myself, unknown coder. Let me go ahead and come into my account. Maybe. I don't even know how to, there we go, get the profile. Thank you for the vote. Okay, so let's come into our source And oops, we'll go into our features, and I guess we'll put it in post and components. Let's just make sure we don't have a poll already. We don't. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I could either do owner poll and then like non-owner poll, or I could just do poll, because it's gonna look completely different depending on if you're logged in or not. But we're gonna say I could say display poll. Or I could just say poll. I'm just gonna double check we don't have it on the feed already. I'm just gonna go ahead and say post poll / post poll.tsx. Or maybe I should say voted poll / voted poll.tsx. That's kind of what this is. I'm just going to say post poll / post poll.tsx, and then make a post poll.css. And then we're also going to go ahead and switch between if it's been voted on or if it hasn't been voted on, and then we'll display. So if we come in here, let's just get this started. Import React from React, because I need to kind of work quick with this, because I need to make another poll otherwise. And then import the /, and then this is going to be post poll.css. And really this is going to be more of a container. Export const. This should probably bring in the post poll, say react, whoops, .fc. This is probably going to take in the post, type post, go and bring that in. Okay, and break apart this post, open this up. Okay, we're also going to go ahead and want the const logged in is equal to use selector, and then this will be state and root state. Go ahead and bring in this and state.user, and then we'll go ahead and return here. We're going to go ahead and return a div for the class name equal to post poll. And then in here, what we need to go ahead and do is we need to check to see if the logged in user owns the poll, and we also need to check to see if the logged in user has voted. So the votes, I think, are all on our object itself. So if we come into Fwitter, let me save this really quick so this doesn't matter to us. So we come into Fwitter and we look at this, our poll. Yeah, we need it. This is going to be kind of yucky, but basically we need to switch to see if the poll was created by us. Also, was I smart enough to put the creator on it? Well, I guess we have the whole post, right? So I guess we have the person that created the post. So we also probably want to go and say const poll is equal to post.poll. And if we somehow get to this point, we can go ahead and say if not poll, just return null. That should never happen. We shouldn't get to the point where, oh, we don't need to do this, we can just do this. We shouldn't get to the point where this is the case, because we're only going to show this if there's a poll on this, but just to be safe, right? Okay, and then what we can go ahead and do is we need to get the owner, and we need to get the, what else do we need to get? We need to get the owner, and we need to get all of the choices kind of like broken out, just to see if the user is like in it. So we need to say like, which the owner's fine because we can just check the post. We need like a const user as voted, and then we can go ahead and do this, and it's going to be based on logged in, so that's fine. And then we can go ahead and basically need to break apart this poll. So const votes is equal to, and this is going to be yucky, we can say poll dot choices dot for each, and then for each choice we'll go ahead and say choice, and then here we're going to go ahead and say choice dot for each, although this isn't going to work. We could probably flat map the choices, to be honest. We can just flat map this, probably choices dot say const votes is equal to, and like we want, I think we don't want to store this because we still want it like separated. So const votes is poll choices dot flat map. And we're going to go ahead and flat map the votes. And actually we'll go ahead and say choice. And then we're going to go flat map choice dot votes. Okay. And then now we have our votes. So now we're going to say return votes dot and then sum. And then u, where u dot user ID is equal to logged in question mark dot user ID. So we're going to go ahead and check to see if the user has voted on it. So then what we can go and do is we have this, and this will go ahead and check to see if the post.author.user ID is equal to logged in. And we can also check to see if not poll or not logged in, which I don't know how this would work if the person like just was looking at the post. So maybe we don't need to be logged in. They just won't be able to vote basically. So we'll just say not poll. We'll say logged in question mark dot user ID, so this will just be false. And we'll go ahead and say user has voted, and then pass in that. And so if the user is logged in and they're the author, then we'll go ahead and like show a author or a voted poll. Otherwise we'll go ahead and show a how's it going, Toby? I don't know if I want to call it active poll. Maybe I should say active poll. Oh, this should be a question mark, not an and. So if the user is the author, or the user has voted on the poll already, we will display this. Otherwise we'll display something else. We'll display active poll. So we're going to create like a poll to attach to like a random post. We'll have to find the post that we're looking for to display the other thing. Let's go ahead and create the voted poll, I guess. What that is quite the project, I gotta tell you. What are the features of any language you hate the most? Dates. Like date and time for like JavaScript and Java are probably the worst, to be honest. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. Everything else is fine, to be completely honest. But yeah, like dates are awful in JavaScript. Okay, so let's... I don't know if I liked voted poll or... Or do I want... Yeah, I'm just gonna call it voted poll. So let's go ahead and create a voted poll slash voted poll.tsx and a voted poll.css. So we need to go ahead and throw this on our post itself. So let's go on our post.tsx and let's see here. So this is going to be under our user info. Let's actually go into our post content. Post content TSX. Okay, so I think we can only have, like, you can have reply to, but I don't think you can have a set of images and a poll at the same time. Post.post.poll and then say and. I don't know if we need to put this in a memo or anything. I can though. Const post poll container use memo just to be safe. I'll go ahead and do this. We'll return a post poll with the post equal to the, I'm assuming we pass it in post.post, and then we will go ahead and watch for, and I think I need to, let's see, do this, or how do we do this? I think we just do this, and we'll go ahead and watch for the same thing, post.post.post ID to change. This might be overkill for what we're doing, but it is what it is. And then post poll, whoops, but I don't want to flicker. Good luck on that project, bro. That's gonna be an atrocity. I just want to tell you that right now. Okay, so now we have our post poll container, and let's see here, voted poll. Okay, we need to make sure we have an export for voted poll. Fair enough. Import React from React and import our voted poll. Make sure we import // voted poll.css, export const and voted poll react.fc. How's it going? And this is going to take in a poll. I don't know if we have a poll interface. We do. Cool. This will take in a poll of type poll. And then let's go ahead and do this. Kind of winging it this morning, trying to figure out what we need to do. Return div with a class name equal to a voted dash poll. We'll just go ahead and have some text. poll has been voted on by you, or you own the poll. Okay. Cool. So now that's fine. We can actually, we might as well do this. So in post poll, we can go ahead and just do voted poll, poll is equal to poll. Go and do this. All right, so now if we come back into Footer, we have, shouldn't say active. I don't know why it says active. Because we should be the owner of said poll. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, this should be or user has voted. And let's go ahead and wrap this in a set of parentheses just to be safe. So if we own it or the user's voted, poll's been voted on by you or you own the poll. Terrific. So now once again, we might want to put this in like a util, but actually it's probably fine. Let's see here. So now what we need to do is we need to count the number of votes and then figure out how many votes each one of these choices has. So again, the poll is going to exist. So now we're going to say const, and let's just go say total votes and set total votes equal to use state. Okay. And then this is going to go ahead and be a number. And we'll start out with 0, I guess. We also go ahead and say const, and let's go ahead and say days left, set days left equal to use state and number 0. And then we'll need to kind of figure out how we're going to do with the rest of this, but that's fine as well. And then from here, we'll just set up a use effect. We could have done a use memo. Whatever it is, what it is. I don't think it really matters. Right, and then we can go ahead and say const un or count total votes equal to, go and do this. And then basically what we'll go ahead and do is we'll do the same thing that we kind of did before, where we go and say const votes is equal to our poll.choices.flatmap. And we're going to flat map each choice. And we'll go ahead and say choice dot votes. Then we'll flat map through those, and then we can go ahead and just set total votes to our votes.length. We need to double check that this is actually working, but it is what it is. I'm gonna say days. We'll go ahead and call count total votes like so, and we'll watch for the poll.poll ID to change. So if the poll changes, we'll go and do that. And what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna go ahead and have to go on the back end and create a we're going to create a poll in the back end to see this. Okay. And then we also need to calculate the days left. Const calculate days left. And we'll do the same thing here. Again, this could have been like a use memo or something. So we'll go ahead and say, how do we want to do this? I think I have a util. I don't know if it's in our post or if it's in, it is convert UTC to local. Okay. Rid of that. Let's go ahead and convert UTC to local here. So in our voted const, and we're going to say today. is equal to convert UTC to local, pass in new date, and then we'll say const end date is equal to convert UTC to local, and then we're going to go ahead and say poll dot end time. We might just say new date here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. And then let's just console console.log, and then we're going to go ahead and say console.log end date.get. I think we can say day. No, it's date. Minus, and I'm sure like if there's like less than a day left, it's going to say hours or something, but it is what it is. And then minus today.get date. Let's see if this works or not. Oops. And then we're going to go ahead and say calculate days left as well. Let's just see if this wants to work how we kind of expect it. Expect this, go to our console. So now if we refresh, probably going to be hard to see. Interesting, it says minus 23. That's not what I wanted to see. How is it minus 23? Console.log today. How is it minus 23? Console.log end date. Let's see, if we come in here and look at our feed, our post, and our poll, it says the end date is 5:01. Oh, you know what? Shoot. That's because this one's 1 and the other one says 24. That makes sense. Okay. JavaScript get days difference between two dates. We're probably going to use like we're just going to subtract. We already have the UTC. Or no, we don't have UTC. We have local date, but I'm sure it's fine. Let's do this. So we're going to have to subtract these in general. I don't know if this is going to work actually. Will we say... Yeah, okay. I think if we say get UTC milliseconds minus get UTC milliseconds, kind of seems counterintuitive, but I want to make sure that the dates are proper before we mess with them. And then divided by, and let's go ahead and say 1000 times, and then 60 times 60, whoops, times 60 times 24. Let's try this. Now it's negative. That didn't help us whatsoever. I love that. So this one, what if we don't convert them? What if we do this? So instead of converting this, we'll just say today is equal to a new date. And then end date will equal to a new date of this. Right? And then instead of getting UTC milliseconds, we'll just do this, console.log. And then this is going to go ahead and be end date minus today. Does not work. But this is because it says date.utc. Interesting. Let's try this, I guess. Const UTC end, if I could type, equal to date.utc and end date, and then const UTC today equal to date.utc, and then this one will be today. And then let's see, does not like .utc. Oh, it's because it wants end date dot get and full year, end date dot get, and then month, end date dot get, and then date, then today dot get full year, today dot get month. It seems kind of convoluted to do this, but today dot get and then date. Let's see if it works though. And then we'll say UTC end. This might all be a waste of time. Minus UTC today. Okay. And then we also need to do math.abs on this. .abs, absolute value of this. And really we need to see probably like if it's less than 7 days. Okay, it's working. Although it's -1. Because on Twitter they start counting -1. So what we'll do is we'll say const and then days left is equal to, and then we'll do this math.abs, and then we'll go ahead and say UTC end minus UTC today divided by this 1000, excuse me, hiccups, times 60 times 60 times 24. So there's our days left. Now we're going to say if days left, and how do we want to deal with this? I guess it'll be fine if days left greater than 0. Because I'm assuming if it's the same day, it'll come back as 0. If days left is greater than 0, then we're going to go and set days left to days left minus 1. So there's 7 days between them. We'll go and say 6. Otherwise, we'll say days left is equal to 0. And we need to say set days left. So if there's more than one, if there's 1 day or more left, we'll say days left minus 1. If there's 0 days left, so we're basically ending, we're just going to go ahead and say there's 0 days left. Okay. So that's what that looks like. And then what we need to go and do is on the bottom, we'll go ahead and have like I guess I'll make it a div with a class name equal to voted poll count maybe. And then here it's going to go ahead and say $, and total votes. And then we need like a dot. I think this comes from I think we have a dot from Material UI. Let's see, circle. We might be able to use this circle sx equal to height. I think we did like 4px, and width will be 4px, and then color will be pound. Whoops. Maybe color will be pound. Oh my goodness. 657786. And then here we'll go ahead and say days. Whoops. Days left. And then this will say days left. And we could put this inside, like, we could make these all their own like thing, but it is what it is. Now you can kind of see we have 0 votes. And we need to go ahead and say vote. And then we need to go ahead and say total votes dot length greater than 0 question mark nothing, otherwise or greater than 1, otherwise we'll say with an S. And I don't know why total votes dot length is mad at me. Why is this an issue? Length properties not exist. Oh, we don't need the length because it's not a list. We just counted the total votes. Okay, cool. So now we have that. So now it'll say vote versus let's say less than 1, less than equal to 1. We'll say nothing. Although, let's see, I'm gonna say equal to 1. 0 votes, 1 vote, and then 2 votes. I think that kind of makes sense. So obviously that looks like crap right now, but we'll work on making it look better. And honestly, this might even be big at 4. Try 2px. Looks better. And honestly, 3 might be best, but it is what it is. Now we need to basically map through each poll or each one of these things. So now we need like a div class name equal to voted poll and choice container, I guess. And then here we need to go ahead and say like poll dot choices dot map through each choice. We don't care who voted for it at this point, which maybe if you voted for one it turns like, it might turn a different color if you voted on it, I'm not sure. But we'll go ahead and return a div with a class name equal to, and this is going to be interesting because we're going to have to basically calculate how wide to make this background. So this will be a voted class name is going to equal to voted poll choice. And voted poll choice will stay 100%. But then we'll have another div with a class name equal to voted poll choice. And then I don't want to call it percentage, but maybe we do call it percentage PG. And then inside this will kind of be like how big it is. So it'll have like a style on this equal to, and then this will have to have like a width on it. That'll be a percentage based on how big it is. And this will also need a min width on it. It's like min width is it's always going to be at least. It'll always be, if I could, looks like 7. So we need a min width as well. Min width will be 7 px. So it'll always have at least 7 px. And then the width will be whatever percentage. So then what we'd have to do is come in here and say const vote percentage, right? And then equal to, and we need to check to see like if there's even votes. We'll just start as 0. And then we'll say vote percentage is equal to 0. And we'll say if we have total votes, we want to make sure total votes is greater than 0, and our choice dot votes dot length are greater than 0. Then we can go ahead and calculate the vote percentage, right? So then basically what we do is say vote percentage is equal to, and then this is going to go ahead and be our choice dot votes dot length, and this will probably be math dot absolute value, or math dot, we're gonna need to round it. I don't know if we want to do floor or what, but we'll say math dot floor. Let's make sure we do it this way, is equal to math dot floor of choice votes dot length divided by and total votes. Then we're gonna have to time this by 100 to get the percentage. Let's do this times by 100. Okay, so basically, let's make sure this is a let. So if we have votes in general, and the specific choice has votes, we'll calculate it. That way we don't divide by 0 and break everything. So then width is going to be backticks. Backticks, $ curly brace, and then vote percentage %. So if we're at 0%, then we will basically just set it at 7 px. And then if we have one, we'll do that. And then we'll go ahead and say, basically we'll have another div. And this will be interesting. How do we want to deal with this? We're gonna have to like put the background over top of it, but also, yeah, we'll have to deal with this, because what we'll probably need to do is we'll just have to have the background over top. We'll have to have like another div with the class name equal to voted dash whole dash choice content, maybe, so it's all the same. And then inside the content, we'll go ahead and have the choice dot, this should be a text, yeah, choice dot choice text, whole choice, no, dang it, choice text, there we go. And we might want to put this in like a span so we can space this apart just to be safe. Whoops. Because this is like spaced apart pretty good. Span. Then we'll have another span. And this one will go ahead and be vote percentage and then %. And everything is broken. Cool. What is the problem? What's the issue? Return a div here, here. This div is the choice container. Everything is contained. Did I miss something? votes. This is contained. This is contained. This is contained. This is contained. Let's see. Something's up with this guy. It's this thing. I don't know. Okay. So I broke something here. Let's see. Oh, and I froze my stuff. Cool. Am I missing? Well, let vote percentage. If votes is greater than 0, votes.length is greater than 0. Vote percentage is equal to math.floor. Okay, let's see what I broke here. But this, oops, not this. Return a div. I think this part should be fine. That part matches up. I'm missing a parenthesis? No. Or was I? I don't think I'm missing a parenthesis. This should be self-contained. Style is self-contained. So something is weird, I think, with the poll choice. Yes. Okay, so something is broken with our poll choice. Let's just make sure it doesn't break whenever we undo this. Also, I need to use the restroom in a second. That is fine as well. Okay, so it has something to do with this. So this div full choice is fine. Okay. That is also fine. So what is wrong with our poll choice container? Choice.choice text. Vote percentage %. Is these spans? Oh, I see it now. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we should see something now. This obviously didn't work. Oh wait, never mind. Choice 1, 0%. No, that actually did work. Okay. It's just not spaced out. Okay, I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick. And whenever we get back, we'll start kind of figuring out how to deal with the CSS and stuff. And then we're gonna have to figure out how to add some votes to this. We're gonna have to vote with like someone else. So we'll deal with that in a second as well. But I'll be right back, y'all. Alright, so I don't expect to get this done in like a day, but this is actually going a lot quicker than I expected. So let's, I guess, just kind of style this guy and see what we're looking like, and then kind of go from there. So in our voted poll, also in our post poll, like this was kind of a waste to do it this way, but it is what it is. We'll just go ahead and copy this and go ahead and say dot post dash poll, and then width we'll just set 100%, and then height we'll just set fit dash content, I guess, call it there. And then in our voted poll, let's grab this and paste this. So really the width should probably be set. Let's see here. So our post poll, let's actually set the width to whatever this is. Let's check. I'm gonna check my real Twitter real quick. So the total width of this guy, we can get it selected. Here we go. So here, oh, computer froze for a sec. The total width is like 518. Let's go ahead and set the width to 518 on this one. So instead of fit content, it'll always be 518 px. And then width, oh, actually width is 518 px. And height is going to be fit dash content. It's not going to be very big. And then here on voted poll, let's go ahead and say that the width is 100% of the parent, and then the height is going to be fit dash content, like so. And we might want to put a flex on this for the gap, but I think it's fine. So now our voted poll choice container, again, we really probably don't need to do anything with this. The poll choice we do need to do something with. Let's copy the poll choice and paste it in here. So our poll choice width is going to be 100%, and then we need a height on it. Height is going to go ahead and be, if I could pull up Twitter properly. So the height on this is going to be, let's see here. Height will be 32 px, and there is a small gap between these, so I guess we probably do want to do a container, a display on that container. So height is going to be 32 px, and really there's not much more, I guess, on this. We'll display, actually this is the choice though, so the choice is fine. I think we might want a position of relative. I think we're going to do an absolute position over top of the other thing, so we'll deal with that. But this guy, the choice container, let's go ahead and display flex this. So here we'll just go ahead and say dot paste, width will be 100%, and height will be fit dash content. But then we're going to go ahead and display flex this. We're going to go ahead and flex dash direction in the column. And then we'll go ahead and have a row gap, I think. No, yeah, row gap. And it's pretty small. Let's just go ahead and say like 4 pixels to kind of space it apart. Okay. And now we have our poll choice and our percentage BG. So this is the one that I'm interested in getting working. So we have this guy, paste it in here. So now we're going to go ahead and have our height just be 32 px. And then we're going to go ahead and have a position is going to go ahead and be absolute. And hopefully this still works. So a position absolute. And then width will calculate. And then we'll say that the top is 0 and the left is 0, so we can go ahead and align it to the top left of the parent. And then here what we'll go ahead and do is we'll have a background dash color, and this is just like our dark gray color, or maybe it's just our gray color. I'm gonna go to our app and yoink the gray color. So this AA whatever might not be the right color, I don't know. But we're gonna yoink this, right? And then we're gonna have a border of none and a border dash radius. And this will go ahead and be, it's pretty small, like 4 pixels. And then there's like no padding or anything on these. Actually, there's a little bit of padding on the left. In our poll choice, we might want to display, that's the thing, I don't know, because we have our content, so we can always just like 100% the content. Border radius 4px. And then what else was I gonna do? I think that's fine. See if we can see anything yet. Whoops. Okay, so that is starting to do something. But we're gonna need to, let's see. So yeah, it's gonna have to be transparent, or we're gonna have to let's actually say RGBA 0, 0, 0, and then point like 3. Let's actually go ahead and make it dark, a black, but make it see-through, and see what it looks like instead. I think that looks better. Let's see. Just see what's going on here with these. But I think that looks good. And then we need to like add some padding so that these kind of like go this way, but that's fine as well. I think that's actually looking pretty good. Twitter might be slightly more blue, but it is what it is. So that's looking fine. So now in our voted poll, whoops, voted poll here, let's do our content. And hopefully this works. So our content is going to be width 100% and height 100%. It's going to take up the entire space that we have here. And then we're going to go ahead and adding on the left side. And it looks like we have a decent amount of padding. So this is 7 plus there's a little bit more. So it says 12. So we could probably do that. Padding left 12px. Okay. And we could have done this slightly different, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and say color is black. Let's actually do our display flex first. Our justify content is going to be space between. And align items is going to go ahead and be in the center. I'm going to say color is black. Font size is probably going to be 15px. And then our font dash weight is going to be 400. Let's just see what this looks like. I think that looks good, and that looks about right. This is a little dark. Let's go ahead and say 0.25. Looks pretty good. And honestly, like this is even like thinner. Although I don't know, I don't think, yeah, our font size is getting overridden for some reason by like a star, which is annoying. And this font size might be smaller than 15. No, it is 15. Okay, so our font size is getting overridden, which is annoying. We're gonna throw an import on here and see what happens. There we go, much better. Cool, so that looks good. Now we need a little bit of space under these, so we can go ahead and deal with that as well. Let's come in here in our container or voted poll maybe. We can go ahead and display flex this just to, and then we can go ahead and flex direction this in the column. And then we're going to go ahead and throw a row gap on this as well of like 8px. This is just a guess. I don't actually know what they have here spacing wise. Let's see. And I can find the gap on this guy. Not very helpful. Yeah, 12 it says. So we can try row gap at 12. Okay. Looks good. Now what we need to go ahead and do is, let's also, I think this is centered. It is centered. Cool. And then 0 votes. Let's go ahead and deal with this. So this guy also needs to go ahead and be set up as well. So voted poll count. Go ahead and do this, paste it in. So now our width be 100%. Our height was be fit dash content. Go ahead and display flex this. Justify content in the center, align items in the center. Go ahead and have a column gap of like, I don't know, 2px. Go ahead and have a color of pound 657786. And I think that's fine. And we'll also have a font dash weight. Oops, font weight of 400. Save that. Okay, so we actually want our justify content in the flex dash start. There we go, much better. Refresh this, make sure this looks good. We could probably add more spacing in the column gap. Try to add like 4. Whoops. 4px looks better, I think. So let's go ahead and actually pop that up to 4px. The site is not live, no. Okay, so now we need to add votes to this guy. So all we need is a bearer token. I could literally just log in. Sure, we can log in as Summer, that's fine. Okay, we just need a token. This is all just for fun, so I haven't actually hosted or anything. And then our body, so choice ID, we actually need to look at, let's see here. Go to footer, go into actually this, look at our feed, posts, and then what choice ID is this? So this is going to be poll, choice ID is going to be, let's just go ahead and say 2, I guess. So choice ID is 2. And then user ID can just be 1. I don't know who that is. So let's see if this works from the backend standpoint. It does. So it was Rick. So now we have Rick on here. So now, hopefully, if we refresh this, we should see that we have 100% working. And now this is being overridden again. You stupid, annoying thing. Okay, we're gonna have to add, this is working though. So we're gonna have to do more than just important. So let's see. Here, we're going to add on our span, let's add a class name equal to voted poll choice text and a class name equal to voted poll, whoops, and choice text, and add that in here. Dot voted poll choice text. And then here we're going to go ahead and say that the font size will be 15px. Font dash weight will be 400, since it wants to ignore this. You can also add color black to this as well, I guess. Whoops. Okay, there we go. There we go, much better. And this is what Twitter looks like. It is slightly like more blue. I don't know if I can yoink the blue color they have on this or not. It'd be cool if I could yoink the blue color. Let's see. It might be this blue RGB color. But it could also be something else. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can't yoink this background color. The thing is, I'm assuming they probably have like a... Let's see, background color. I'm assuming what they're doing is they have the text. Yeah, so this is the right color. I'm assuming what they're doing instead is they have this content and they have like a z-index on the content or something. I don't think the z-index will work unless we have... Yeah, the z-index won't work. Because really we need RGBA. And then we need like 0.5 or something. But then even then, it's not going to be the right color. It's going to be too light. Yeah. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. Because I think this looks best, to be honest. Looks fine to me, even though it's not perfect. So that's actually done, quote unquote. Like, I think that looks fine. And then, so now what we need to go ahead and do is we need to go into my other account. And you look at what the poll looks like from an unvoted person. So now if we go back to unknown coder and look at this. So now our unvoted poll, so it looks like what we can do is actually extract this part and add it into our poll itself, because this one is across both of these. So I do need the votes. So what I can do is I can pass the total votes in here. Let's go ahead and take this logic. Gonna be mad at me for a second, that's fine. Take this logic, put it in the post poll. Like so. Go ahead and take this. Put it up here. Paste it. Go ahead and import our use state. And then import our use effect as well. And then what we'll go ahead and do is, did it not import? It did. I don't know why this use effect is mad at me. Called blah blah blah. I think it's because you can't have this before, which is stupid. Go ahead and question mark, and question marks to these. This should be fine. Should never get to this point, but it is what it is. How do we want to deal with this? Because the issue is that it doesn't like the use effect of being called after this. Is what the problem is. But that's why it doesn't like it. realistically, it should be safe just to do it like this. So we should be safe to just do this, honestly. Turn, count total votes. Should be safe. Because it's not, the post isn't going to change. Return, calculate days left. What is this mad about? I guess we can just do this. Right, is this what it's mad about? Let's see. What is your problem, brother? Oh, it's because we're setting it. So now we want to return votes.length. Instead, and we'll check poll up here. Now it's mad at us again. You love to see it. What is your problem, brother? And then we'll do the same thing here. Return days left -1. Otherwise, we'll return 0. Is uState also mad because... Yeah, okay. I'm about to just pass the poll, but we need the post, I guess. That's annoying. Okay, well, what we'll go ahead and do is we'll say this. Poll question mark. And then we'll go ahead and say undo all this. Set these back to 0. And still do this. Paste it. We'll go ahead and pass the poll instead. Import that. Poll. We might want to call it something else. Just call it P so we don't get it confused. So now we know it exists. Go ahead and do this. That's all we have here. We'll go ahead and say p.choices like so. And we can do the same thing here. P poll. And we can go ahead and do the same thing. P.choices like so. And then here in the use effect, and now we know for a fact that poll exists in this situation. And then in the use effect, we can go ahead and do one of these. It's really annoying, but it is what it is. What can you do? And then in the use effect, we'll watch post.poll, post question mark dot poll dot poll ID. And then if we have our post, if we have a poll, then we'll go ahead and call the count total votes, pass in the poll, and we'll also go ahead and say the calculate days left and pass in the poll. Okay, and then what we'd want to do is let's go ahead and come back into our voted poll. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this. and bring it out of here. And really this might have been overkill. But we'll go ahead and do this. So voted poll. Now this is going to be post poll count. Like so. Go and import our circle. And then let's go ahead and come in here. And we'll grab our... I think we just need our count for this. Let's grab this. Bring it in here. Save this. Bring it inside of our post poll. And do one of these. And this is probably going to need a flex in. So display flex this. And then we'll go ahead and flex dash direction in the column. And then we'll go ahead and have our column dash gap. Or row gap. Row dash gap of 12px. We might need to get rid of some gap. We'll see. Anyway, now we need to go ahead and pass in the total votes. Total votes be a number. Okay, we can go ahead and pass in total votes like so. Now that's working. Come in here, and then here we're going to say total votes is equal to total votes. And let's see if it's broken. Okay, this is scuffed. Post poll count. Go ahead and call this post poll count. And there we go. Cool, so that's back to that. So now what we need to go ahead and do is figure out what post this one is, and let's just throw a poll on this post. So this is, you know what would have been smart is if I would have put IDs on these. But whatever. Okay, so this is going to be post 937. Okay, so we'll go into our backend and go into our resources and our data.sql. I'm actually going to open up my dbeaver so I can see what this post and all of this stuff looks like really quick. So let me go into my program files and open up dbeaver. Then let's see if we can create one of these posts. And I'm assuming the voted is going to have to be slightly different as well, but we'll figure that out. Okay, so here in our FwitterDB databases, and then our schemas, public, tables, and polls. So this one should be fairly simple, I think. It just literally has a poll ID and an end date. So sure, let's go ahead and go into our data SQL and come below our posts. I need to create all this data, and then I can take a look at that. I don't know how these get connected to... I think the poll actually has to get created first. Ooh, I don't like this. We might have to comment out all of these. And just make one from Rick to test. Because we'd have to basically count which one is 937, and that's not going to happen. So let's do this. Let's comment out this data SQL. There's going to be some other stuff we brought to comment out as well. Let's just make like another single post by Rick. and kind of figure out what to do from there. So we'll do this, come to the bottom. But the good news is, like, I might be able to get this done pretty dang quick, actually. And I can be on to reworking views. Next week, I'm probably not going to stream much. I'm probably going to work on getting videos ready for while I'm out. I'm not on vacation, but we're going back home for 3 weeks. So we're going to be away, and I'm not going to be able to stream and upload videos and make videos. So I'm going to try to get as many videos created as I can. Okay, so there's that. I don't know. Topics might have posts attached to them. Maybe a problem. Yes, they do. Okay. Shoot. I really should have just done this from the start. I shouldn't have been lazy. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of all of this as well. So we have topic posts. Let's see what else we have here. This is why I wanted to look into this stuff. Communities, I think we're fine. I think it's just topics. So I think if we just get rid of our topics for now, we should be okay. We're not gonna have any post, obviously, to put into the topic post junction. We can also comment this out really quick. We'll kind of go from here. Okay. There's that. We'll have to restart the server still, but that's fine. I'm happy with what the vote looks like. So let's come in here. And we can just start out with no votes, but we do need to go ahead and make choices. We need to make whatever else. And hopefully this has an auto increment. If not, then no bueno, I guess. So what we need to do is we need to create a poll. And we can just do that by, I'm assuming, just insert into polls. I think is what we called it. Yep, insert into polls. And then we'll go ahead and say end date. How we called it. Yep, end date. And we'll go ahead and say values. And then this is very simple. We'll just do this. And then we'll go ahead and copy this. Hoping that copied. It did. Cool. So let's just insert this. I'm just going to take it baby steps. Let's restart the application and make sure it creates the poll properly and doesn't break everything, or we like get too deep into it. But basically now whenever we refresh, okay, so no value and column poll ID. Okay, so for some reason it doesn't auto generate, so that's cool. So I guess let's just go and throw poll ID 1. Gonna break if we create our own poll, but whatever, I guess. I was hoping that we wouldn't have to add a poll ID, but I guess it is what it is. Let's try to restart it again. It's curious that it doesn't just auto-generate it. It should be an auto-generated poll, but or auto-generated ID, but whatever, I guess. Okay. So now community post junction. Okay, so we missed a community post junction. Okay, we are gonna go get rid of those, but our poll did get created. Let's find what we're inserting into community post junction. I think these are just I think this is just a randomized script. slash function that we can comment out, I think, while we work on the poll. If we can get a poll generated today, I think that'll be good. We'll probably just do a shorter stream because I do want to work out. So we'll see where we get to here. But I think I can maybe get this done early next week, and who knows, maybe record it. I don't know. But like Monday, I'm planning on streaming Minecraft just to have like extra video, and then Tuesday through Friday mornings, I'm gonna work on recording and editing Let's Build Twitter. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So communities, these are fine. These are fine. So it's whenever we insert post is the issue. Let's find where we're inserting post to the communities. Also, I might as well just clean these up because those extra hashtags don't do anything anyway. I think these are just PostgreSQL functions that deal with inserting post, but I don't know for sure. Randomly insert users, yep. Randomly insert moderators. Randomly insert post, okay. We'll get rid of inserting posts for now as well. Go ahead and try to restart the application again. See if it creates the poll, and then we can go and create choices. And then we can display the choices on the post and then start voting on them and stuff. But I just want to make sure we can get this working. Our feed page is going to be pretty barren, but it'll be fine. We'll just show the post from Rick. Okay, so that seemed to go through. Go ahead and give this a nice refresh. I can't tell if it got recreated or not, obviously, because it was the same exact poll that we had before, but I believe it got generated. Poll choices should be empty though. So we open up poll choices, refresh. This one should be empty, yes. Okay, so now we need to generate poll choices. Let's go ahead and do that next. So in our backend, let's come back all the way to the top. We should be following Rick, so Rick's post should display at the top. Could probably just jump to the top somehow, but I'm not a Vim power user. So now you just gotta bear with me. Give yourself vertigo while watching the text go by. I really didn't expect polls to go this fast, to be honest. Like, I think I can have polls done tonight if I just like grinded this out. Which is insane. Like, if I get polls done and rework views, like first thing when we get to Iowa, like I might be able to finish this in Iowa. Come home, record the rest of it, and be done with Let's Build Twitter. Which is exciting to me because I'm ready to be done with this project that's been going for like 3 or 4 years. And then I'm going to put myself through hell. Basically by refactoring everything and making one long supercut. So that's going to be fun. But anyhow, okay, so we have our polls. I need to insert into poll choice, I believe. Let's just double check. So insert into poll choice, poll underscore choices. And then we'll go ahead and say poll underscore choice underscore ID. We're going to go ahead and have poll underscore choice underscore text. And then we're going to have poll underscore ID. and then values. Okay, and then let's go ahead and say pull choice 1. And then pull choice text, we'll go ahead and say Rick's pull choice 1. And then pull ID will be 1. And we'll go ahead and say 2. Say Rick's pull choice 2. 2. And then we'll just do 3. Rick's pull choice 3. 3. Oh, this should be 1 for all of these. Almost broke it. And then finally 4. And then Rick's pull choice 4. And this is probably going to break if we try to create a new poll, but it is what it is. We should at least be able to vote on it and stuff. So now if we restart the application again, I'm going to run to the restroom while this restarts. Sorry y'all, my pre-workout is running right through me. Okay, so now if we refresh our application, refresh our poll choices, we have all of those, looks good. So now if we come into our front end, we refresh, we should just see like a poll from Rick or a post from Rick. Oh, interesting. We're getting a network error. Or no, we're not getting anything. Thought we were following Rick. Let's double check our following junction. Front end or back end. Let's see here. Post. Oh, you know what? We don't have any post, so we need to go ahead and create a post. Insert into post. Looks like we need audience. Content posted underscore date is reply underscore restriction, reply underscore to, scheduled date, author or ID, and poll underscore ID. Values. Okay, so audience will be 0. Content will be a post from Rick with a poll. Whoops. Poll. Okay. Let's see here. Content posted date. We can just go ahead and grab today's date. That's fine. Yoink this. Paste it in there. Okay. Our posted date is reply false. Reply restriction can just be 0. Reply to will be null. Scheduled will be false. Scheduled date will be null. Author ID will be 1. Poll ID will be 1. And make sure we say insert into posts. Let's go ahead and restart the app one more time. Hopefully we have a post in there now. Hopefully it generates and creates properly. Okay, so I think we're fine if we come into our posts. And a post. And a post from Rick. I think that is all good. Full ID, author ID, it's not scheduled. Not a reply to. Think we are good to go. Cool. Let's try again. Refresh. Should see a post from Rick. Why are we not getting a post from Rick? Thought we were following Rick. Let's see. Are we not following Rick? Following followers junction. 5 and 1, 1 and 5. We should be following Rick. User following Rick Sanchez. We are. So why is our feed not getting any posts? Session. Is our session before the posted date for some reason? 11:40:45. Why is posted date 5/1? Oh, that's why. Okay. So posted date is the issue. Let's just put 2025, 2026. So we broke our posted date here. In the future. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's been years trying to get this done though. That's why. So this is in the future, so we're not grabbing it. Let's go ahead and say 2024-04, and then we'll go ahead and say 24. And then we can just grab a random time. Sure. Grab a random time, whatever. Okay, and really we can grab this because it'll be when we create the other one. The grind has been insane, and I've learned a lot too. Like, I started this whenever I was much younger. We need to restart the application. I started this when I was very, very young in my career, and I've learned a lot just from like working, obviously. So like, there's a lot of stuff I would do differently now that I've become more experienced and stuff. Now will we fetch the post? There we go. Sick. Okay. So now we have our active poll. We need to go ahead and display that. So we might be able to kind of just like lay this out really quick, and then I'm not going to get too much of this done, but let's go ahead and create our active poll / active poll.tsx and active poll.css. The other thing that I want to do before I forget, import React. React from React, export const, and then this will be active poll and react.fc. Pass in the poll of poll, and then go ahead and do one of these, break apart the poll, pass this guy in. We'll go ahead and return our div with a class name equal to our active dash poll. Get this done. Okay. Let's also import our poll really quick. Gonna wrap up stream here in a sec so I can get a workout in. But our voted poll or our post poll, let's also go ahead and see if the end date is expired. Let's say const expired or is expired equal to p poll, and then we'll go ahead and say basically do the same exact thing here. Instead of calculating days left, we're going to go ahead and say return UTC today greater than UTC end. we'll check to see if today's date is past the end date. Then we'll also go ahead and say or is expired and pass it in the poll. It's sad that they turned Twitter into a bad site, right? Literally, like, the video, like, your feed went from like people you follow to like the most random crap that like is unrelated to anything. I don't understand how the algorithm works, but I get the dumbest videos on my feed now. Whenever I used to use it just for like, I used to use it for Call of Duty news. I used to use it for NFL football news, and now it's like I can't get either of those unless there's like a massive event going on for one of those two. But now we should still see active poll because it's not whatever. But yeah, so I'll probably go back through, since the thing is I started this literally like 3 or 4 years ago. So like a lot of the CSS is outdated, a lot of the pages are a little bit outdated, or the mix match, like some of the pages I started and got finished with like years ago, and then now they're outdated. So I want to go through and like record my screen and like kind of like get snapshots of what everything looks like, and then rebuild it from the ground up, rebuild this from the ground up using like a little bit better backend system and all of that good stuff, and using Next, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so our active poll, let's see here. So active poll is going to be basically the same exact thing. We basically just need to loop the choices and display them, and then whenever we click on the choice, we need to go and be able to handle that. And then once we vote on it, we need to update the actual poll itself, so that'll be interesting. So we'll deal with the logic later. I just want to get the styling done. So we'll go ahead and do this. Our active poll, we'll go ahead and say poll.choices.map and map through each choice. And then we'll go ahead and return. Go ahead and return a div with a class name equal to, and this will go ahead and be active dash poll dash choice. Does it have an on click on it? On click equal to, and then we'll go ahead and deal with this in a second later. We'll also have a key and ID equal to choice dot and then poll choice ID, and then key will equal to choice dot poll choice ID. And then this is literally just going to go ahead and have the choice dot and choice text. I haven't used Blue Sky, so I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Backticks, $, curly brace. I've seen people use Blue Sky, but I've never messed with it, to be honest. Like, I've seen some like reporters and stuff post some like NFL stuff that gets posted on Reddit, and then I've seen it, but I haven't actually looked into Blue Sky. So alright, so there's that. Let's just go ahead and do one of these. This one's going to be dead simple. I probably didn't need to make this into its own component, but whatever. There's going to be some logic in here eventually. But go ahead and say width is 100%. Height will be fit dash content. We'll go ahead and display flex this, and we'll flex direction in the column. Put a row gap on it of like 4px. And then we'll also go ahead and make our active poll choice. Do this. Interesting. I mean, I liked Twitter whenever, like, the point of Twitter was you follow people that you want to see posts from, and then you'll see their post. But now it's like Twitter's like you follow people, but the actual feed you don't ever actually see the people you follow. So it's kind of stupid. Width 100%. Height, it's all like algorithm and like based off like what you've looked at and all that stuff. So 32px. And then, so now we have this. We're going to say a border 1px solid, grab our Twitter blue from our app. Like, there's a lot of stuff I would redo this in this. Okay, oops, Twitter blue, paste that, and then border radius is going to go ahead and be 16px. Then we'll have a background dash color of white. Then we're going to go ahead and display flex this, justify content in the center, align items in the center. Then we're going to say color going to be the same Twitter blue color. Exactly, yeah. Sad. Okay, and font dash size 15 used to be great. Font dash weight is going to be 600. And then we just need a hover to active poll choice hover. Cursor will be pointer, and background color will be RGBA. We need to go ahead and convert this RGBA. I honestly don't know what WeChat is either. But all I know is like it's all based on some invisible analytics that we don't have access to. Convert text to RGB. Let's see. So this is 1DA1 F2. That's why whenever I set up like my clone, I didn't do anything with like any of their algorithms or analytics or anything. I just put in like random data for things that are supposed to be like based on analytics. Make sure we import our dot slash and active poll.css. Go ahead and throw our active poll on our post poll. So now this would be active poll. Interesting. And then poll is equal to poll. Oops, I broke everything. Okay, if this works, I'm going to probably wrap up stream here. Been nice chatting with you. We'll see if it works though, or I need to debug it, but I'm going to wrap up. Cool, I think that looks pretty good. We might want to go a little bit lighter, I'm assuming. Let's see. Actually, I think that looks pretty good. So then what I need to go ahead and do is handle the on click, which will be interesting because what we'll need to go ahead and do is one, we need to make the API. Yeah, anything China I feel is massive, but the only problem is surveillance. Because everything's kind of run by the government. But now basically whenever we click on one of these, we need to update the post in our feed, which needs to update the poll, which should recalculate our total count, total votes, and then should also redo users voted. Doesn't need more padding. This is what I'm looking at here. So I think it looks pretty dang close. Obviously the top part is slightly different, but I think, and it's not going to be perfect, so it just needs to be generally right because the font's slightly different. I think that we're pretty dang close for government work. Now we just need to go through and deal with the handle click and all of that stuff. So I am going to go ahead and wrap up here. Appreciate you stopping by, Jamie, or James. So I will be live again Monday, I believe. We'll be playing Minecraft. And then after that, I was saying that I'm going to be out for a few weeks, going back home to visit family for a few weeks. So the rest of the week, next week, I'll be working on recording. Last one looks like it's cut from the bottom. Gotcha. Yeah, I think it looks okay for the most part. It's not going to be perfect, but also love that this is minus 200 minutes. Oh, we need to deal with on click as well. And this is slightly broken, so I need to look into this. I'm assuming that this individual post, let's see here, where's the content wrapper? Not taken up 100% maybe. Post content takes 100%, this doesn't take a 100% with 100%. This is like small bugs and stuff that we need to look at. Deal with this later. Post, view post, post banner, individual post. Width is 100%. Post content wrapper. Something weird's going on here, but I don't really care. That definitely needs to be there. Post content is 100%. Interesting. I can take a look at this later. I'm not that worried about it. Post poll. Oh, it's because width is... Maybe we do want to get rid of the width. 815. If we come back to this. Yeah, let's get rid of the... I appreciate you. Oh yeah, right? I don't like AI. I mean... I'm not going to say I don't like AI. But I like to do things myself. Let's just say with 100% here, and I'm going to wrap up. And that should fix that. Cool. Alright. Appreciate you for stopping by. Thank you. And yeah, hopefully I can see you again later. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching my videos. And hopefully when I get back from Iowa, I'll have all of this done. And we can just record the rest of the videos and start something new. So peace out, everyone. See you in the next stream. And have a great one.